Brr.
Brr. I'm ready for some heat.
What are you talking about?
I'm cold.
We ain't got no propane.
I know we don't have propane.
Oh, well, crud. Looks like I'm in trouble. You guys know you got to keep your wife nice and warm, especially if she's not very warm by nature. How you doing over there?
I'm ready to turn some heat on.
So it is showing 52.5 degrees Fahrenheit with 45% humidity here inside the camper. That's a little chilly. Shannon likes it to be about 84 degrees.
I do not. But I do like it to be at least 70.
Well, we don't have all of our blankets and everything here. So yeah, it's, I think, what is it? It is 44 degrees outside. We got some of the fall weather blowing in. So we heard from a lot of you guys mentioning what Dutch and Coghill and them did, and a lot of other folks out on YouTube. We've seen it. We looked at all the heaters at all the big box stores, watched the YouTube videos, whatever. And it does look like some of the most efficient ways to heat your camper, the safest way, is an oil radiant heater. So it kind of looks like your classic, bear with me guys, I don't know, kind of your European style radiator with the fins. I personally remember them from elementary school. We had them underneath the big windows in the
we did
classrooms.
Too. Yeah.
And of course this time of year, I would go stand by them along with everybody else, including all the Shannons in the world.
I just pulled off the plastic for the first time.
You didn't even invite me to help you with it?
I didn't invite you, but there's another one.
No.
Look, do you want to pull off that one?
I do. That's the good one right off the screen.
Right here.
Oh, thanks. Hang on. Oh. That was a good one. I love doing that. So, you know, this is not sponsored, guys. I don't know if this brand is going to be garbage or not. This is just what they had at that big store with the orange roof. And we picked it up.
That big store with the orange letters. Not the orange roof.
I think the roof is orange too, isn't it?
I don't think it is. I'll drive by and look.
We'll settle this argument later without you guys around. Or comment down below. Does it have an orange roof? Just say yes. Even if it doesn't, just say yes, because it'll be a while before we go by there again.
I have more supporters.
Are you gonna plug this guy in or not?
Can I? I'm so ready.
I can deal with the cold better than you. So I have not refilled the propane. I'm going to, but as you guys know, we talked about it in our live. If you saw the live on YouTube, we were kind of telling you that we had the propane tank inspected, and we're still potentially going to plumb that out, get it over here, the big 1,000-gallon one, versus using the 220s. Because last year I ran out of propane in the middle of the night. It's not fun to try to find propane when it's, you know, below 30 degrees out.
It was a little cold.
Like I said before, what did I say? I don't even remember. 52.5 degrees in here. I believe this thing says it takes maybe, what did they say, an hour or so to really kind of get the heat dissipated. We have alternative methods. This is a fun little electric, I think it's a 5,000 BTU. Ooh, that is the heat. Let's turn the heat off because I want to know how.
Oh, really?
Do you want, oh man, I don't even know where the, what did you do with the remote for that thing?
Oh, you're going to blame that on me, huh?
Well, yeah, because I asked it first. That's for this guy.
I don't know, but right now it's blowing heat and it feels amazing, and I don't want you to turn it off.
What? I thought we were going to test how well this little radiant heater did.
I understand that, but at the moment, I'm not letting you turn it off.
So I'm not winning this one, huh?
No.
Well, do you at least want to switch over to orange and blue light because it's so pretty?
Yeah, I was going to, but there we go. So it would be pretty and warm.
We may not have a real fireplace yet. We do have a fire ring, so I could start a fire outside, except all of our wood is wet. But that's our fancy little camper. Look at that thing. It's adorable. And it blows that heat out right above it. So Shannon wants her instant heat. It's electric. That's not propane. I don't have the HVAC unit turned on in the camper. So start your timer.
1 o'clock.
We're going to see how long it takes for that temperature to raise, even if just a little bit. Keep in mind, we are going to have our little 5,000 BTU electric heater on because Shannon won't let me turn it off. So it's not a good true test, but it's a true test for K&S. It's a true test for K&S. In our camper, this big whopping non-fifth wheel bumper pull, and see how long it takes to warm up.
Yes.
Shannon and I were out here yesterday looking at all of this, and we remembered that the second video we put on YouTube was just about a year ago, actually just a hair over a year ago, in what, latter part of September?
Yeah.
And it was the one titled, I think originally it was titled like Rainy Day Truck Tour. I came out after being sick a few days and not in work. I was getting stir crazy. I do not do well with being locked in the house, having nothing to do and healing or getting well. I don't like that.
You don't do well being locked in the house for more than 24 hours, period.
24 minutes is way too long inside the house. I have too much energy Too much to say. Just I got to do stuff.
24 minutes.
Yeah. You said 24 hours. I was being a little more realistic.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
Right.
I brought the truck out and shot a little video for you guys. I was probably a little loopy on cold meds. I don't know. But I drove around and looked. And so for the fun of it yesterday, Shannon and I sat in here enjoying our space, our outdoor space, the camper, and we pulled that old video up, and it is incredible. The difference, what it looks like. The house was here, the barn was still here, the
Everything
coop was
still
here.
here.
All the woods up the hill. Everything up there was still heavily wooded. And it's a completely different piece of property now.
Man, I love those leaves. Look how it's just like orange and red and green and yellow. This is my favorite time. Guess what, guys? The rain quit. The sun is out. I'm sure you can see that bright sun behind me. So everything is looking so much more like fall. I don't know if it's just the first time I've ever really paid attention to the leaves changing and the colors of the season. So I just want to walk around and show you a little bit of the beauty around our property. I mean, we have so many trees, and this is something that when we lived in town, Kyle and I missed having trees. I told him regularly I miss trees. So I'm just gonna walk around and enjoy it, and thought I'd share a little bit of it with you guys.
I'm putting Shannon to sleep. She can't stop yawning.
Well, it's because it's so warm in here.
Ooh.
I've been outside and it's warm and cozy in here.
Good call. Are you crying?
Well, I just yawned.
So
it probably looks like I'm crying.
You're crying? Oh, she's crying. It's so warm in here.
Trust me, I would never do such a thing.
That's very true. Well, hey, Shannon might have had to turn on the electric fireplace for about 5 minutes because she was just so cold she wanted instant heat and couldn't wait on the radiant heat from the oil heater.
That's very true.
So I asked her politely after 5 minutes, I was like, hey, can you feel your fingers yet? And if so, let's go ahead and turn it off. That being said, I forget what it was. We'll review the
54.
54 is what it was in here. It ran for about 1 hour, just shy of 1 hour. I think it was about 5 till 2. And we were creeping up on 70 degrees. Shannon had an appointment to go to. I had to run an errand, so I left at about the 1 hour mark. We came back, and what's she at now?
70.5.
Perfect. So, what does that tell us? Well, not that much. No, I'm just kidding. It was just under 50 degrees a little bit. I think when we first started shooting, it was cloudy and rainy out, and so it was a lot cooler. Since then, in the last like 30 minutes, the sun has come out.
Which is beautiful.
It is beautiful, and it warmed up to about 51 degrees. We, here in Missouri, we will get way below those temperatures, especially at nighttime. In fact, I think it's supposed to be... I'm putting her to sleep.
It's not you, I promise.
Oh, yes. It's not you, it's me.
If we go outside, I won't yawn as much. How about that?
I'll just keep talking, and you'll go to sleep eventually.
No, just keep talking.
So anyway, we have one heater, and that's what it did. Ultimately, once we get down into the low teens to single digits in the middle of the winter, we may need another one of these heaters, one for back in the bedroom. It is definitely warmer up here in the front area where this is basically our living space, TV and everything. Kitchen. There's the kitchen.
It's a mess.
Back there, yeah, don't judge. This is way cleaner than it was when it was our workshop before we moved it over here. Thanks to Shannon. She did like 90% of the work.
I'm working on it.
But we'll see. We'll see once it gets colder. So we'll keep you guys up to date as to how this goes. I'm still going to keep the propane full so that we have that as a backup option or an option to run in tandem with this heater and our little electric heater.
And
because somebody just wants to stay warm, so I got to do everything I can, use all my resources.
I do want to stay warm. I'm probably going to buy a heated blanket this year.
She even lit a candle just for extra warmth.
Oh my gosh. That's why.
No kidding. Or maybe I stink. I don't know. Either way, the initial test with it 45-ish degrees outside took about an hour to warm up. We'll see how it goes when it gets even colder.
All this stuff we have to figure out as time goes on.
Yeah.
But I do want to say I am going to skirt the bottom of the camper. We had to get past the rain so that I could go buy the stuff and have a few days of no rain, and that's going to be one of my next projects. So it will be insulated.
There you have it. So now if she doesn't do it, it's her fault, not me.
I'm going to do it.
Well, it's muddy out there, but I want to go show you some things that I wanted to see once it rained. And going back to the video when I was out here in the truck and looking at things, it's changed so much. It's so beautiful out here. However, there's a few things that once it rains, earth settles, and I got a little work to do to kind of tidy up some of the stuff I did.
Here's the thing I want to say. I don't want you to do too much box plating because that's just going to make everything all dusty again.
I didn't say anything about box plating, but I won't.
I'm just saying it's all tamped down now from the rain. So
I didn't say anything about box. I didn't say a word about box plating.
Okay. I don't really know what he's getting ready to show you guys.
She was just trying to say I told you so before I even told you so.
No, I was just trying to keep you from doing something that I didn't want you to do.
You can't box blade when it's muddy, silly.
Well, I meant after it dried.
Okay, I can't work anymore. No, anyway, so I'm not going to be running the box blade.
Whoa! I saw that happening.
I set up a booby trap for myself. So what I'm talking about, however, is reviewing my work, because once you get this rain and you have filled in trenches and things, you find out how well you did. You can only do so much without a big heavy roller, but let's go take a look. I got crack.
You got crack?
Look, crack. These are my trenches. See, everybody was saying like, hey, you might make a map as to where all the trenches are. Well, the fun part of having a YouTube channel is we have video footage of where all the trenches are. In fact, myself digging the trenches with the excavator. But I do agree, if you don't shoot YouTube videos or any kind of videos or take pictures or whatever, highly recommend mapping out where all this stuff is, because you guys know we don't remember things beyond, you know, I don't know, I may make it 6 months or so. Maybe 5.
That's generous for me.
Yeah, something this big, as long as we had it open, I'll remember. However, if you look over here, you can see the trench that goes over to the water and to the power pedestal. And you see where we put down the screenings down beneath the water line and the power lines to kind of insulate it a little bit so that the big rocks didn't get in there. And then we put some on top of it again so that we have a nice little layer to kind of help protect those lines. They are rated to be underground. I'm sure rocks won't bother them. We're not going to be driving back here. But for extra measure, we just bedded them in screenings for the safety. However, now my trenches that I filled in have settled because it rained and all those big rocks that I pushed back in there, everything's kind of filled in little cracks, which is good. We need that to happen. But this just kind of shows me where I've got to work on this so that long term I don't have this big rut that goes from that hydrant all the way over to that one. I do have at the end of the archery lane, I got that big pile of dirt and everything that I pushed down there. And I think that'll be good to fill this in. And then later on down the road, I'll probably get some topsoil because we all know I like to tend to a yard.
Well, so, of course.
Got to grow some pretty grass, get this nice and level, but got to take care of this rut. So once it dries up again, and before I give Dad's tractor back, if I ever give it back, thanks Dad, appreciate you letting me borrow that and put 30 hours on it. No big deal. But I'll go get some of that dirt down at the end of the archery lane, come fill this back in, we'll wait for the next rain, see if it settles, do it all again. And just have to kind of stay on top of it until it's done and everything's nice and hardy. So either side of the trenches that I had dug, we stayed pretty level with where ground level is. Like if you notice there's grass back there, that was the grass that was in front of the house. And the footing is just underneath that base rock line. So all of this is very compact except where this trench is. When you come over here and you look down this hill, that is very unnatural to where it was. Technically, it jumped off very drastically like that over there. You see how it just kind of goes to that ledge and drops?
Yeah.
That's how all of this was. But when I put that in and we had the trench coming right here, I decided to kind of regrade this, and I'll probably do the same with that over there unless Shannon tells me I'm building a gazebo or something.
Ooh, a gazebo.
But yeah, we'll figure that out in the future. For right now, I'm gonna leave it alone. We gotta clean up some of those vines. But I don't really have the settling issue over here that I have up there just because this was like a completely new grade. And so I'm not gonna push any new product or material down here yet. And then I had it real thick down there going around to the well house, and all of that looks pretty good. So, you know, Shannon and I, as you guys know, this has been such a pivotal point for us. I mean, it's literally in about the year mark. We've got the camper out here where we want it, cleared everything, and we're about ready to step into phase 2, which is actually living on the land and raising animals, utilizing them for what their abilities can do for us, like clear the land, way cheaper than a skid steer. Less fun for me, but goats are fun.
Well, also, I think the goats are just going to provide some entertainment for us.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, have you met Mario and Luigi? And then get old Herc, man. He'll melt your heart. So what are the final steps? Well, I talked to Rob after we went live the other night. I gave him a hard time. I was joking around. The man has not let me down. Our timeline's been all over the place. So we were texting after we went live, and then we talked on the phone for a bit. Now it's time to tackle the well house and the water in there. He's feeling very confident about it. I feel very confident about what needs done. I don't feel extremely confident about myself being able to do it without, you know, looking every little step, but you guys know what I do. So I'm gonna get Rob some information. Let's go take a look at it. It's still really soft.
Yeah. Hey, I have the right shoes on today though.
Nice. Well, there's all the rocks that I brought down from the hill, and you know, they don't look quite as rocky until you have a nice rain that washes all the dirt and dust off of them, and you're like, oh crud, I put a lot of rocks down here. But that's okay. Man, look at that over there. That is beautiful where the sun's coming through. I think the goats and Herc are gonna love that, myself included.
Fall is my favorite time of year.
Yeah, I know. I wish we could kind of call a timeout on all the leaves falling
and just let them stay on the trees this color.
Yeah, because man, coming down our main road, like as you come around, there's a curve up there. As you come around that curve, you know, it's kind of one of those classic, like all the trees come over the road and meet each other, so there's no light that comes through. And then all the colors. I mean, reds, greens, yellows, oranges. It's absolutely beautiful driving up to the property and then turning on and seeing all of this. Could not be happier with that. I want to get out here full time. We were going to bring Hercules today because he's got 4x4, so I wasn't too worried about him getting stuck in the mud. Problem is, then he's got to go back in the car to go back with us to Grandpa Adler Farms. So we'll see, you know, once it dries up, hopefully we can bring them out. But if we can get this well done real soon, then we can bring them out and they'll be out here with us full time. And I am looking so forward because if you guys follow us on Instagram and Facebook, there's two camps. Most of you are just like, oh, he's so adorable. Look at the bed grandma gave him. And he's spoiled rotten and we love him and that's fine. But at night, I'm telling you, the guy stays up all night long. Shannon and I can be sitting there, you know, watching football or something, and we hear him out there growling at possums, growling at deer. He does his job. However, he loves attention. You go out there and little guy just comes in for snuggles and cuddles and buries his face in you, and he looks up at you, and you can go nose to nose with him, and he doesn't bite you, anything. So I think he's just meant to be for Shannon and I because we have a soft spot for all animals.
Oh, he's so adorable.
At the same time, he does his job. I cannot wait for him to get out here, and hopefully he stands up to Ouija if Ouija goes to pick on him, because if not, I'm gonna have to get involved and we're gonna figure something out. So I can't have that.
He'll be tough. It'll be okay.
Oh yeah, he'll bounce. He don't care. Come on. Okay, so the well, that's the last thing we've got to get done. If you guys remember, how many videos ago was that we had, I think we were standing up there and I had regraded the footing, or I'd regraded what was the crawl space for the old house, and I was like, hey, we only got 3 more things to do and then we can get the camper out here.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know how long ago that was.
I think that list of 3 turned into 93, and now we're back down to just 1.
I said that we were going to keep it at a 3-item list.
How'd we do?
That didn't happen.
Hey, but now, babe, we're there.
We're so
there.
close.
We got the driveway. We got some things we didn't anticipate having done before we got out here, but it just so happened that they all fell in line. Oh, somebody put the air compressor in front of the door.
I wonder who did that.
It had to be me, somehow or another. Hey, you want to see something awesome?
Yeah.
Bam, we got light.
That is awesome.
Okay, we still got to clean up in here. I think we talked about that last time. Here's part of our problem, okay? You see that water line right there?
Yeah, I see it.
That down there is wet. The corner is wet.
Ooh, over there's super wet too.
That's nothing. Look at that. We got a problem. We're gonna have to address this sooner than later. We've got a blatant crack right at the peak of the gable. So as you know, those are the wasp nests that as the cold temperatures maintain, I'm going to be taking those out, as well as the one that's up in here before I go covering that hole there. But we do have some water getting in here, and I don't love that. And that one over there, man.
That's real bad.
That's real bad. I feel like that's sagging even worse than it was just like a couple days ago. And part of that may be because that outside panel fell off of it or whatever.
Oh, yeah. It's just like pouring in over there.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But anyway, we'll figure that out. Let's get the water flowing first. This guy here, that's the slab. That is about 8 to 10 inches thick. She's super heavy, but Ken and I pried that up with a rock bar. That used to sit right here next to the casing. That casing, that is the well, and that pad was right here with the pressure tank on it. It had there was a little spigot or a faucet that was right there from the previous system, and then that little PVC carries the power through the wall from the breaker box down, and that is how we'll be wiring this guy up. Right now we've just got it on a regular plug, and that way we can plug it into our generator and run it. And then we have a 3/4 inch spout on top, just so we could hook up a standard garden hose and actually pump it out. Well, now we've got to shock it, clean the system. Rob and I talked about getting the pressure tank on first, so that as we put that bleach through there, the chlorine, it'll clean out that pressure tank that's been out here for who knows how long. And we've got to check the functionality of it, set up our T-fittings, the filter, all that good stuff, and then we'll have water. That will be fantastic. This top part from the duct tape up was a sleeve that Rob picked up for us before he came down. It has two big flanges that go down inside, and that's how it seats inside the original casing. We couldn't get a weld to take on the top of that casing because we had to cut it because it was uneven, all that good stuff. If you missed that, go back and watch. All the details to the full well rebuild are in that video. But this is old casing. This is that new sleeve that Rob brought, and we temporarily put duct tape on it to make sure no critters or anything could get down in there. We since have had the water tested by the county, and it had a little bit of bacteria and a little bit of minerals and a few different metals in it that you don't ultimately want in your water, but none of it was at bad levels that mean we can't filter it and even drink it. You know, if I can get Shannon to drink it, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's my little water snob. That's okay. I don't want you drinking anything that'll hurt you. I'll be the tester.
Thank you.
But to pass code, or anybody that would want to come out and potentially inspect this, we purchased a piece that goes over this that has a rubber grommet that will go above and below that seam, and then basically it's like there is no seam there, and so that would be perfect. I can push all this dirt back in. We'll change out the spout to a 1-inch fitting, and then I will show you in a future video what we do to connect that up directly to the pressure tank with a pressure switch and all that stuff that I won't go into detail about because I have a tendency to go way too far into detail on things.
And then Shannon says, hey, shorter version.
Yeah.
Hey, shorter version again. I try to get it minimalized for you a little bit.
So y'all can thank Shannon for trying to slow me down and omitting some of the details that are running through my head because they don't really matter to you. But if you do want to know, send us a message. I can reference you to so many resources and websites and videos and things that I found that'll go into the nitty-gritty, or I always love to talk about those things. So let me know. But we'll put that sleeve on here, get that done, get everything filled in, bring the pad over, basically have this all done. I don't want to attach the filter system to the wall or anything because, well, we're going to need to tear some of it out.
I was going to say, we got to tear it all out. I've been wondering how that's going to work, by the way, if we're going to go ahead and put that in before we rebuild this place.
This?
No, the water system, the filtration system.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a huge box. Where's it going to sit? Like up on that shelf?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
We'll get there.
Okay.
But yes, we're putting it in before we do any remodeling.
Okay.
Now what we may do is some temporary stuff. We got some of that foam spray for a few different spots. It's kind of that expanding foam. We may try to get some of that up there. We may just get a big tarp and throw it over, but just to kind of temporarily slow down the decay of this building. Because I want to say 70% of it's okay, but until we take these inner boards down, we're not really going to know what's going on behind it. They may have just put all this stuff up to cover up how bad it is. But Chad said he'd come down and help with that one, so I'll be holding my breath and we'll see him shortly.
Hey, your dad's retired now. Maybe they'll both come help you and knock it out in like a day.
Yeah, and maybe they could do it and I'll film them.
What am I going to do then?
Watch me filming them, watching them. It's perfect. No, I'm kidding. So, yeah,
but not about Chad and your dad coming.
But what?
I said you're kidding, but not about Chad and your dad coming down.
That is correct, yeah. Yeah, so we'll take this plug off, wire it directly into the box, change this guy out, and get all that set up. So my hope is, I think Rob's going to try to come this weekend. At least that's what I obligated him to do. He doesn't know yet. I'm just kidding. God,
Sorry, Rob.
These poor people are going to think I'm just mean to you, Rob, but I can't be more appreciative, man. Okay, well, yeah, this is the final piece. We have all the PEX connected through from here. You know, we've got the faucet on the outside, the one up at the intersection, and then the one behind the camper. And once we get the water in here, into the pressure tank, through the filter system and everything, we'll hook it up to that PEX right there that we brought through the wall, and should be good to go.
I'm very excited for this because guess what?
You need a toilet?
It means I'll have a toilet out here.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about that, and I'll be able to wash my hands.
Why do you wash your hands out here?
You're supposed to wash your hands.
I do all the time, as many times as possible. That's all I ever do is wash my hands.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, so this will get us out here. We're already starting to migrate a bunch of our stuff, all of our chargers and everything, and basically we just come straight out here each day. And once I can get everything in order and get the water done, we'll be out here full time. Only other thing is, of course, we want the goats and Hercules and Nala out here the same day we're out here. We need water for that. As you guys know, winter's gonna sneak up on us like that. It ain't gonna be that sneaky, and we've got to get that camper ready for winter, as well as a shelter for the animals that Shannon's gonna build, the Taj Mahal goat pen shelter thing. They're gonna be happy.
I did get the area cleared for where the goat shelter is going to be. My dad stopped by one day and moved a bunch of trusses for us. So we're kind of discussing bringing in some clean base rock like we have up at the camper to put down on the bottom to kind of level the ground a little bit. Plus that'll give us a little bit of drainage if it rains or anything like that. So
What if it snows?
then they're going to be warm and toasty inside.
Ah, are you gonna put a hot cocoa maker in there?
Oh, that's a great idea.
I feel like Luigi would really love that.
With marshmallows?
Yeah, I mean, Herc, he loves everything, but man, guys, I can't, I hope this is coming through on the camera like I see it here, but.
It's so pretty out here.
Yeah, oh man, the colors. I wish this would all, I either want like super rich greens in the spring and the summer, or I want the fall colors.
And they're so pretty. It's so crazy to me how you look at one tree and it's still green and yellow, and the one right next to it is already orange or deep red, and it's just so pretty.
Yeah.
So pretty.
I was talking to Shannon about this just yesterday. You know, before, Shannon and I, we'd wake up like, oh man, it's going to be rainy, so we're going to get a little wet from the house to the vehicles, and then from the vehicles to the office, and then you come back home, and that's all there is to it. Now we work outside 95% of the time, and so the weather dictates your mood. And we've gotten better. You know, you embrace, once you're out here a lot, you embrace whatever the weather is, and you just dress for the occasion, and you can still get work done.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, we've got to stop and appreciate the beauty, because after all, that's ultimately why we came out here, right?
Yeah, that's what I said in a clip earlier. The whole reason for us wanting to be out of the city is, for one, we didn't have any trees, and for two, just nature and beauty and God's work.
And goats!
And goats.
And Herc.
And Herc.
And to get Nala out to be a little bit more of a dog than a princess.
Yes. So you guys tell me your opinions. What do you think about 1 inch and under clean base rock going underneath the goat shelter, just like we have up at the camper?
Like down here?
Yeah, like down here for it to be a base for them. Because once we decide what we're going to do for a base, whether it's rock or if I'm going to have Kyle grade this for me or whatever, I'm ready to start building. I'm ready to get to it.
So you don't want to ask my opinion on the rock?
What's your opinion, babe?
Definitely clean.
Oh, I just meant whether we should do it or not. I would definitely go clean rock.
Well, it depends. Are
didn't know
you
if we
wanting
should
to
do it
put
or not.
those down for their flooring like they had before, or do you want to start fresh and use those for something else?
I thought about putting those down for part of it.
Well, what did you think about that?
I thought I would wait until I had it all together to decide.
You're going to wait till you have it together to decide if those will fit in there? Okay,
Okay,
you
well,
haven't
I
thought
will
about it.
measure
You haven't
them
thought about it that much. That's what you're
I'll
saying.
measure them ahead of time.
So you thought about it, but just like
about it.
usual, you haven't made a decision.
Right.
Oh, burn. Sorry.
You got me good.
It's a little true though, you gotta admit.
I know, but I'm gonna build from the ground up, so I'm gonna figure it out.
Well, those would go on the ground.
Shh.
So would you start there?
Shh. No, the frame is where I'm gonna start. Or the rock. I don't know.
This does not work with my perfectionist style.
Basically, all I need to know is if I should go with the rock or not, and then I'll get started building and figure it out as I go. I'm gonna wing it, babe.
I will be on vacation the days that you're winging it because I can't. Yep. Basically, all we're waiting on is getting the water all done, and because we have the heat, I just need to refill the propane tanks, and then we get the goat shelter and move everybody out here. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm also open-minded to moving out here without the goats and Herc, and that way we can be out here as long as we have water, and then I'll start building the shelter to get them out here as soon as possible.
Stat.
Stat.
Well, we could get Nala and Herc out here before
Herc's
the
not
goats.
staying in the camper.
He can stay in here. We can make him his little house and everything.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Okay, thanks. He's gonna be in the camper with me. I'm kidding. I'll be out here in the goat pen with Herc. Shannon will be in the camper.
Yeah, Herc's not coming in the camper.
Herc's coming in the camper. No, you're right. Yeah, he is.
You can sleep out here with him.
Me and Herc are gonna move the camper down here. Shannon's gonna sleep up on the base rock. I think that's what she's saying. Do you like my new project?
I do love your new project because I know what it means.
I feel like just when we get done with like one major epic project, like the electricity and the camper and all that, then I'm already on to the next one.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to be till we get out here. Sorry.
That's all right. We're going to keep chugging along. Hey, it's official. Rob is definitely on the books to come later this week, and I have already begun the process of setting up basically what the well is. So it's, you know, another learning process. And this guy's not holding pressure, and that is such an important piece to the equation. So Shannon and I are going to discuss. I'll talk to Rob tonight, but I have a good feeling we're going to go out to pick up a new one.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Makes sense.
We've been trying to reuse a lot of things that we have out here after we tore the barn and house and chicken coop down, but
This is kind of important, isn't it?
this is very important.
Yeah.
And we don't want to get 4 months down the road and find out it's not actually holding pressure and then have to redo the whole thing. So
And by we, she means I don't want to. So I got
don't want you to have to.
Yeah, I know Rob doesn't. I don't know. Well, you know, we've got so many new components as far as the pump, the new filter system. You know, we've got that sleeve up at the top, and this is going to help seal that. So as important as the pressure tank is, we're just not going to risk it. We're going to go ahead and do it, even though it's not that deep of a well, whatever. But we're forging along, and once we get this part done, it's time.
It's time.
It'll be time for us to move in, and as fast as we can, we'll get the animals out here with their shelter and everything.
Yep.
And we could not be more excited and exhausted.
That's a good way to put it.
Mostly excited, very excited. So, yeah, we're out here all the time now, and we're real close to being out here staying the night. We got it nice and warm in the camper whenever we need it warm, and we're very, very, very excited about it.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, we appreciate you so much. Your views mean everything to us. Thank you so much for coming back. Thank you so much if you're new, and we hope that you continue to come back. As always, guys, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
You caught me in a yawn.
I wasn't letting you tell me you were yawning.
Blah, 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 blah.
Should be a good mic check.
Yeah, great mic check.
Mic check. Like that.
My check.